City Power in Johannesburg has started resuming operations after the utility withdrew response teams from areas plagued by violence and looting on Sunday as well as Monday. Skeletal service resumed on Monday after the situation improved in areas like Malvern, Jeppes-Town, Rosettenville, Hillbrow and the Joburg CBD. And police have assured City Power that it's fairly safe for workers to go back to work in those areas. We now have on the line, joining us is City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena to give us more detail. Isaac, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. You've started resuming operations in areas that were plagued by violence and looting. Talk us through the basis behind this. Why have you decided to change and now bring your workers in?
You'll remember, for that when we withdrew, it was purely for safety reasons. So we have assessed the situation, and because of, as you're aware now, that it's fairly quiet in those areas that were flashpoint on Sunday and even on Monday. So we have decided that we should at least start with skeletal services in the areas that were affected, but also we have advised our employees to exercise caution whenever they respond to the calls, wherever they are, so that their safety should really be of paramount importance. They should actually ensure that their safety and that of the equipment and everything that they work on, the infrastructure, is protected at all times.
Now, Isaac, before this decision was made, there were a number of reasons as to why you decided to pull out staff in these violence-plagued areas. Talk us through some of those reasons before this decision was reached.
Look, it's because of the violence that obviously that flared up from even 2 weeks ago, where we couldn't respond timeously to some of the calls that we received, especially in areas like Alexandra. There were barricades, there were shops and houses burned, so we couldn't even respond to those areas, and Lenasia and Rosettenville. So we've decided now, with the second or third bout of violence happening from Sunday, we really need to ensure that we ensure the safety of our employees and the contractors, because the violence do not only threaten the lives of our employees, but have resulted in some of those operations disrupted and our response times affected, thus inconveniencing our customers. So that's why this decision was taken. But remember, it was only for those areas that were affected by violence. Most parts of Johannesburg, our services were continuing as per normal, and we were responding to calls as and when they came. And also services like vending, buying of electricity were not really affected, except if people buy at the shops, some of those which were targeted. So we advised them to basically exercise caution all the time when they go and buy electricity.
And what proper impact has the violence had on your work? Are you finding now that operations are resuming as normal, that there is perhaps a higher workload that you need to get through?
Yeah, not necessarily. We of course, when we restarted this, we increased capacity in those areas that were affected, where we knew that there would be backlog. So we will increase technicians and operators in those areas, deploy them from other depots into those areas that were affected, just to ensure that we push if there was any backlog. And I think we are doing fairly well currently. So we will obviously support the depots that were affected, but also remember that us starting this operations, we are also not doing those especially during at night, because we still think that those areas are still dangerous to operate in. So at night we are not responding, while during the day we are doing the work that we're supposed to do. So by 6 o'clock we are out, and then we'll come back the following morning. During the night we are not responding.
Thank you so much for that update. Let's leave it there. City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena just giving us an update on City Power now starting to resume operations in some of the areas that were plagued by violence and looting last week as well as on Sunday. Of course, saying that as workers come in, they'll be coming in during the day and avoiding to offer their technical services after 6 p.m.